All right, so few things before we get started here. We're in our hotel room. It's night, so the lighting might not be perfect, and we can't seem to get the air conditioning to turn off, which I wouldn't want to anyway, but whatever. So you probably just got done watching a montage of a lot of pictures and maybe some music. It was either royalty-free music or copyrighted music that we put in because we don't really care.
Yeah.
But whatever. So what we did today, as we explained a little bit earlier, we went to Warner Bros. Studios and Paramount Pictures Studios for studio tours, different studio tours, and Warner Bros. Was just the normal studio tour. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And Paramount Pictures was an After Dark studio tour, which specifically it was something called Tales from the Other Side, which is a special Halloween tour that they have going on. I think this is not the first year they do it. This is like another year that they're doing it. But anyway, so let's talk a little bit about the studio tours. I'm not going to take too terribly long on this segment. I want to make sure that this video is not the longest video in the world. So, Warner Bros. Studios started off a little bit, let's say, hectic, because we missed an email that basically said that our tour time was changed. But we weren't the only group that got there late. Originally, our tour time was at 3 o'clock, and apparently the email said that the tour time was changed to an hour and a half before. Didn't get that email. I mean, I got it, but I never checked my email because I'm on my honeymoon and I didn't care to check my email. But luckily, they were able to accommodate us. I think we got the entire studio tour on a little bit of a fast forward because, for example, they had some segments where you could get down from the tour bus and kind of wander around some areas. The guy only gave us like 10 and 5 minutes at each place. I'm 100% sure that if we had more time, it would have been like half an hour at each place. Pretty sure. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about Warner Bros. Studio tour. So, what I recommend? Let me describe it a little bit for you. It's mostly on trams. You're going around the studio and looking at different parts of the lot, different sets, and different props and costumes and stuff. It's basically what you would think of if you were to think of a studio tour. They showed us sets from Lucifer, the TV show Lucifer. We specifically saw the LAPD office from Lucifer. And what was the other thing we saw?
For a set?
Yeah.
We didn't really look at any other sets other than Lucifer.
You're right. Okay. I'm thinking of the Paramount one. So it was really nice. The guy that we got was a guy named Guillermo. He was very, very professional, very funny, very friendly. I liked him a lot. What did you think of him?
Yeah, I thought he was nice. He tried to accommodate everybody as well as he could because we were such a squeezed tour, and we were the last one of the day, so he kind of had to hustle, but he did a good job.
Yeah. So, a note on that. So I mentioned that our tour time was changed. The reason is because today, October 19, was the first day that Warner Bros. Was doing a new tour for the Halloween season. I think it was called, like, Horror is Made Here or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But it's a new tour experience that Warner Bros. Is dishing out this year. I'm pretty sure it was like a last-minute decision to start this.
I don't know about
this week. I'm not entirely sure about that, but it was early September that they started the advertising for it. I booked the tour in August. I had no idea about any of it. So the Horror Made Here tour involves I think, a lot more information on the horror movies that Warner Bros. Make. And they also have a little haunted maze based on the what house? The haunted house from It. We only saw the facade outside of it. It looks amazing. If you took this tour, please, I know this is a tiny, small chance, but if you took this tour and you're actually watching this video, please, I beg of you, let me know how that house was, because that sounded amazing, but we didn't have time for it. Anyway, going back to the Warner Bros. Studio tour. Okay, I don't want to describe everything, but the two questions that I definitely want to ask you, and I will also answer. What was your favorite part, and what was your least favorite part? So let's start with favorite. Favorite part for you?
Favorite part for me... Okay, well, it was all good.
Yeah.
There's no question. But favorite part for me, for that one, was... Even though I don't watch the show, it was being on the set of Lucifer, because it was so cool, not just standing where those people do stand when they film, but also just seeing like a complete set made up to look just like the nicest, cleanest police station office you could ever see, and yet still seem hectic, because there was lots of stuff on the desk, and everything was shiny new. It was great.
Alright.
So it was interesting.
So, for those of you who don't know, Warner Bros. Is kind of an interactive thing. That at the end, there's a museum where you can take pictures of stuff. You probably saw video from there because they actually allowed video in there. And you probably... You know what? I'm going to tell you executive decision. At this moment, you're going to see video of me flying. And here we go. What you just saw was a green screen effect of me flying on Harry Potter's broom. Didn't I look stupid? I love it. I'm a big frickin' dork like that. It's like an interactive experience where you have green screen. They did pictures. I'm pretty sure you saw that before. If not, we'll put them in now. And they also had Batman's bike and an It section where you can wear like a yellow rain slicker and carry a red balloon. Whatever. But it was a good studio tour. Honestly, I recommend 100%. If you are a fan of movies, make your way to LA somehow and take the Warner Brothers studio tour, because it really gives you an idea of just the major scope that it takes to go into a TV show or movie production. But anyway, least favorite part of the Warner Bros. Tour.
I don't really have one, other than, I guess, it's more of a disappointment. I was kind of hoping that there would be the slim chance that we might see a celebrity on the lot. Specifically, since I didn't realize he was there, or at least filmed there, one of the ones I actually recognized was Conan O'Brien. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I had this weird inkling that he may have been there. Mm-hmm. Maybe even Ellen may have been there, but it doesn't matter. What matters is, even without celebrity spottings, it was still a lot of fun.
All right. I'm going to try to keep this section of it a little, like 15 minutes long at least, so we're going to continue on. My least favorite part, I'd have to say, was...
What was your favorite?
Oh, I didn't talk about that, did I? Okay, my favorite part. You know what? I really loved seeing the prop department. And, we saw Batman cars. You probably saw the pictures of them. That was awesome, really, too. So I liked seeing the Batman stuff, the Harry Potter stuff. That was what... No, there you go. My favorite part was the Harry Potter stuff. They had a Harry Potter exhibit going on. Loved it. I got sorted into Hufflepuff, of course.
And I got Ravenclaw. So,
No, you're a Slytherin. I don't care what they said.
No.
My least favorite part was probably the fact that we had so little time to actually see the exhibits. But I get it. I mean, we had to rush through it. Okay, Paramount. Paramount Pictures was more of a historical tour. We got a little bit behind the scenes look at a couple of things, but here's how I'm going to compare it. Warner Bros. Was more like, let's say, a nice, refreshing can of Coca-Cola. Not sponsored. A nice, refreshing can of Coca-Cola. It's like very peppy, gives you a good energy boost, makes you happy. I would say the Paramount Pictures tour is a glass of champagne. Very, very classy. A glass of champagne or wine, like it
reminds you of the olden times.
Yeah, it reminds
the classy olden.
Okay, so the Tales from the Other Side tour is more of a history lesson on the history of Hollywood and Paramount Pictures specifically. But Paramount being with being associated with RKO was the first movie studio. So we got a lot of history about that, and we also talked about some famous dead celebrities like Fay Wray, who was the first scream queen from King Kong, and we learned a lot about Fatty Arbuckle, the scandals involved with him, and a lot of different people. Was a fascinating experience. I just loved every moment of it. We had a tour guide named John, and I particularly loved the group we were with here. The group for the Warner Brothers people was okay. They were listening. They were polite. They were perfectly fine.
It was small. It was 5 others besides us.
Yeah. So the Paramount Picture Studio tour was about 12 people, including us. And our guy, they were a lot of fun. Especially this one guy that was a huge movie dork just like me. And he kept pointing out like stuff that even the tour guide didn't know, which was amazingly, like, I just loved it. Like, he kept pointing out different stuff, and it was very impressive. And we also had these 3 British ladies. I'm pretty sure they were drunk. I'm pretty sure they were drunk.
Off champagne?
I don't know off champagne specific. I'm pretty sure they arrived drunk.
At the very least, they were very peppy.
Yeah.
And charming, because they did have the accents.
Yeah, they were okay. They were nice. They were perfectly nice, but they kept like slowing us down. Whatever. So, for those of you who don't know, and if you're interested in this tour, it goes around Paramount Pictures, of course, but it also goes into a cemetery. Now, I forget the name of the cemetery, where you learn about different celebrities and different people associated with Hollywood, and it was fascinating. You go around the cemetery with flashlights. It's just so cool. Creepy, sure. I mean, it's a cemetery at night. But, it's the perfect atmosphere. They give you great information. It's awesome. Just awesome.
Creepiest was the mausoleums.
Yeah, we went into 2 mausoleums. Oh, I expected people to just be popping out of their coffins in there. But it was just fascinating. If I had to pick a favorite between the 2 tours, I honestly probably would say the Paramount tour, because it was just a lot of information that was exceptionally well done. John was such a good guy. He was being dorky with us, like we were talking, and he was talking about how he is kind of an amateur filmmaker, and just great guy. Okay, again, favorite, least favorite. We'll start with you. Favorite.
Favorite would probably be anything to do with the cemetery period, because it was the creepiest. Like, the stories that he told us leading up to that point were creepy and scandalous and stuff, but the ones once we were actually in there, like, it just added to the atmosphere, because it was already pitch dark, and you're in a cemetery / mausoleum, where there are bodies buried.
Yep.
Real people buried.
Dead people. Yep.
Even as recent as the young
2017.
No, I was going to specifically say the young Chris Cornell.
Yeah. And we saw the grave of Anton Yelchin. Was it the grave or was it like a ceremonial site? No, it was the grave.
Yeah.
It was, man, a lot of very elaborate tombstones and stuff. It was really cool.
Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney we saw. We saw Fay Ray. We saw a couple of different people. I think we also saw. Did we see Fatty Arnold? No. No, we saw the mistress, the scandal around Fatty Arnold. We saw her grave.
Yeah.
Anyway, least favorite.
Probably, I guess. I mean, I wasn't expecting to even go on any sets. We ended up going on the Dr. Phil set late at night, and it was pitch black in there. So flashlights again.
Yeah, I guess that was kind of boring, especially if we don't watch Dr. Phil.
Well, I mean, I've seen Dr. Phil, so it was like, oh, cool, I'm on a talk show set. But compared to the Lucifer set, I mean, talk shows, they can't compare. It's just a straight shot of a set.
So, again, I'm trying to get this really, really quick. My favorite part was the stories about the ghosts. They told us about the ghost stories surrounding Poltergeist. That was really cool. How the little girl who died from a misdiagnosis, the star of the movie, the one that gets kidnapped in the original, not the remake. Screw the remake. The original, the little girl who died, there was some ghost story surrounding her. There was the ghost story about the guy who died in the former costume department.
Mm-hmm.
That was like haunting the set of Cheers for some reason. My least favorite part of that tour was the walking. There was no tram section whatsoever. It was all walking, and by the end of it, I was wearing a backpack, which wasn't even a heavy backpack, and my back was hurting. And my feet were a little bit sore.
Yes.
They're going to be hella sore tomorrow.
It's mostly the feet.
But it was mostly my back for that one. Now, I still highly, highly, highly recommend both. They're expensive, obviously.
Yeah.
I have no idea anything about the Warner Brothers Horror Made Here thing, but it sounded cool. It seemed a little jump scary. I was kind of talking with her about it. If I'm going to compare what I think is the feel of the Paramount Pictures Tales After Dark Halloween tour and the Horror Made Here Warner Brothers tour, I would say Paramount Pictures was probably the original haunting, very classy, spooky, good atmosphere. And you know what I'm going to compare? I was going to say the Warner Brothers one was the remake of The Haunting, but that's far too insulting. So I'm going to say Warner Brothers was more like the remake of It. I would say, because they told us a little bit about the Horror Made Here tour during our tour, and they said there were jump scares and scare actors that are supposed to pop out and scare you. So it feels like that one's definitely more modern horror, and Paramount Pictures Tales After Dark, Tales from the Other Side, definitely more classic horror atmosphere.
Like Hitchcock.
Yes.
Psychological.
So highly recommended. Tomorrow we have a long day. This is going 20 minutes. This video is going to be super duper long unless we split it into 3. If we are splitting it into 3, we're ending this first part here. Which we might as well do. But we'll make that decision in the future. Whatever the case, we'll see you tomorrow from Disneyland Park, where we'll be doing a full day at the park, including Mickey's Halloween party. We're looking very much forward to that, although I'm a little bit disappointed that I won't be able to watch Fantasmic because of the Halloween event, but whatever. So we're planning on having a lot of fun. You will join us. If this is a multi-part video, you will join us next time. And if this is one video, you'll join us momentarily. Until then, we'll see you from the park.